Coming to you today with a new topic of discussion. Oh, look at my hair. I am in Vermont, y'all. It is cold out here. I've got the fireplace on. So we're gonna get in a conversation. I thought it was good. I have a couple minutes. I'm supposed to go out with a twin. So big up to everyone doing the meet and greet in Vermont. I didn't comb my hair before this. It's snowing out here. It's snow in Vermont. It's freezing. I'm a tropical dream. It's abusive. So check on in. New conversation. I'll show you the snow. It's beautiful. I'm in a fairy house. It's called the Fairy Tree House. So I'm staying in a fairy tree house in Vermont, in the middle of the country. Ooh, I've got hot chocolate. I've got coffee. I don't have anything else. Twin Flame, bring provisions. We're gonna talk about pole shift. Let me show you the snow. You guys want to see the snow? It's so beautiful here. So wait until a few more people check in. Put a handy dandy like on the video as you step on in. Hold on. You know when I have a turtleneck on, it's all good in the hood. So let me show you. Yeah, I'm in a fairy house. It's so cute. You see the little fireplace? I'll show you outside. It's so pretty. I haven't seen snow in so long. You just messaged me, Sid? You're so on point. Let me show you the snow. How do I turn this around? Okay, hold on. Oh, look at this. There's nobody around. This is pole shift preparedness night. Look at that. Look at that. There's fairies all out there in the cold. Oh. I'm out in the middle of nowhere in my fairy dream. Whew. Okay, hold on. Yeah, it's cold in here. Yes, it's out in the middle. Vermont is beautiful though. Big up to everyone from Vermont or New Hampshire. It's really pretty. Let me lock the door because Barry likes to scare me. Barry likes to talk about Sasquatch all the time. So Barry will say to me, big up to Barry Littleton. Where are you, Barry? Barry's gonna go to Australia in like a couple weeks. Barry's always listen to what Barry says. Barry's always talking about Sasquatch. So I'm in Vermont. so Barry told me, look out for Sasquatch. Why you tell me that, Barry? Barry's always, thank you. My solar return was yesterday. It was my birth anniversaire yesterday. And I'm celebrating it by being in Vermont, which you find handy dandy people. Yeah, outside it's like fairies outside. There's Sasquatch out there. So let's get into the conversation. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, super chat. Oh, what happened? Somebody had a super chat? I'm sorry. Who did that? Oh, I'm sorry. Andy? 1. We up. Can't wait in wholeness. Oh, and 1 play. What's good? I'm sorry about that. I didn't see that, love. Okay, so let's get into... Thank you. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'm so grateful to be here in this earth plane, in this avatar. I'm grateful to have my full health, my abilities, my 2 arms, 2 legs. I'm grateful to be here for the pole shift, which is on and popping. So we're gonna get into the conversation. Thank you. And big up to everyone. I think everyone's meeting me on Sunday. So a couple people are driving in from Montreal. So our Montrealians, our Montreal people are coming in Sunday to meet for the meet and greet up here in Vermont. So if you're really Swayze and you don't mind the snow and you want to come to the frozen tundra, like Frozen, go watch Frozen and come visit me on Sunday. It's free and clear. You don't have to pay to meet me. All you have to do is drive through the snowy abyss to get to me. It's like Frozen. You know, she's like in the middle of like the frozen tundra. If you could come to me, by all means, we get together. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, Damon. Oh, I appreciate it. Okay, so let's get into the conversation about the pole shift. I'm sorry I didn't come for the last couple of days. The show Aquarius Rising was yesterday I was chilling out. So, yeah, I'm in Vermont. Yeah. So let's get into the pole shift preparedness. I'm not going to get, on my Patreon, many of you saw my bug out bag. I've had that bug out bag for over, I'm going to tell you a little bit of my age. I've had that bug out bag for over like 12 years, 13 years. I update my bug out bag every once in a while. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Vegan? Nutta? Norwegian vegan. Thank you. Oh, that's so beautiful. I appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah, I got my bug out bag. So let's get into conversation. Like if you ever want to see the bug out bag, it's on Patreon. It's a hot mess. I've got everything in there, and I update my bug out bag every like 6 months. Like 6 months if I want to go through it. You know, it's fun. You kind of refresh your bag, make sure things are still, what's that? Oh, I'm starting to see Sasquatch out there. I can't stay on too long. I've got to go out with the twinsy. So, my earrings are popping out. Hold on, family. I gotta go out in a little while in this frozen tundra. Wish me luck. Hold on. I'm seeing things out the window. If Barry makes Sasquatch come to me, Barry, I'm gonna follow you in Australia and I'm gonna take you down. If Barry brings Sasquatch over here, Barry Littleton, I'm coming for you. Because I'm seeing things out the window. You remember I was in the jungle, in the middle of the jungle, Brazil. Now I'm in the middle of Vermont, in the middle of the woods, in a fairy house. Go figure. So let's get into preparedness for the pole shift. You know, the pole shift is upon us. I figured since I was here, it would be really appropriate for me to discuss the pole shift and what that means and your preparedness for it. The event is on. It is now we're getting to the point where you're starting to see some of the remnants of the pole shift. People always ask, well, oh, how do you know, Florbrun? It's a pole shift. You can see with the magnetic shift in the poles. You can feel it in the way that you are visually seeing things a little. It's a little more hazy, meaning the magnetic pole is shifting, so it's causing the way that we perceive reality a little. It's a little dreamy. Also, you'll notice that there's a lot more earthquakes, a lot more earth changes, a lot more earth catastrophes, you know, anomalies that show up geographically, you know, and not all of that is genetically homogenized by the governments. A lot of this is happening from Mother Tiamat herself as she changes and she kind of she shifts, so does the earth. So we're on popping for the pole shift. And you know, many of you known me for many years. Whoever started off with me, you know, that's basically, I'm a prepper. I've been a prepper for over 20 years. I'm part of the prepper community, and one of the things that we do is we're big preparedness. Now, why I wanted to make this while I'm in Vermont is because I have no provisions out here. I came out to the middle. My twin is not here yet. So my twin hopefully will bring the provisions. But this kind of goes into the kind of the ideology of how one is able to maintain themselves, especially I'm used to being in a warmer region. What if you're in a colder region? There's different preparedness, you know, itinerary for those living in cooler regions as opposed to warm region beings. So I thought it was appropriate because I never really go into cold preparedness. Oh, sugar plum. I never go into cool preparedness because I'm living in a warmer region. But let's just say for all good intention purposes, we're talking about people who are living like in Canada, living in parts of Europe, living in the northeastern part of the United Snakes of America, or even in southern Brazil, which is colder. There'll be times when you may be in the full-on pole shift and you have to be able to acclimate to the differences or the temperature differences and be able to maintain and sustain yourself wherever you're at. So we're going to get in this conversation and discuss it. So I don't want to go into the full-on pole shift now because you've heard, like I said, for those who've talked to me for many years, this is something you've heard me talk about for many years. I don't want to be redundant, but I want to kind of touch on what is necessary in order to have basic preparedness. And we're going to go in cool regions. Like I said, if you want to check out my bug out bag, you can always go to my Patreon. I talk about preparedness in a more direct way. You can see what's in my bag, the things that are necessary, the things that aren't. You know, sometimes, you know, it isn't, you may not even be able to grab a bug out bag or be able to have anything with you. So we'll get into basic prepping 101. Okay. So If you don't know, the pole shift is on and popping. It is coming, and I am the crazy guy on the mountain in 2012 movie. Remember the crazy guy in the movie was like, it was coming. Remember he had the radio station? I remember people comparing me to that guy years ago, before 2012. They'd be like, Flurburn, you're that guy in the middle of like, what was it? He was in the middle of Yellowstone Park with the RV. Remember him? They used to say that all the time. My friends used to say, "You're the guy on the radio warning people with like 50 million maps in the middle." Remember him? Oh, I didn't take it as a diss. I took it as a compliment, because really at the end of the day he was correct, and people thought he was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because it lets you know that you're handy dandy. And remember, I got to watch my words, because YouTube is marking people with words. Remember the chocolate factory, Willy Wonka the chocolate factory is not going to let you know what's going to happen, but they are preparing themselves. There are seed storage facilities that are located in the Nordic parts of this world. In the poles, there are deep seed storage places where they stock heirloom seeds, and they keep them stocked in order to have them. So if any sort of catastrophe happened, they would be able to replant and reseed the earth with whatever, whatever seedlings or whatever trees, whatever, fruits and vegetables or things or flowers that were necessary to kind of restart, reseed the world. Okay. They've had, many of you know who are from the prepper community. As you know, big up to John X, one of my homies, O positive, big up to the O positives in the house. John X was one of the preppers from the community. That's really how I knew of John, was from the prepper community. And many of you had seen many years ago that you saw that, FEMA had been stocking coffins, like in places, like weird places, like by train stations. FEMA, you know that many of your Walmarts are really not Walmarts. These are big warehouses that are going to be used as FEMA camps. So these are the things from the prepper community that most of us know. If you don't know, now you know. These are places that I always suggest to you that if you aren't aware, these are places to avoid during a post-apocalyptic type of activity or event. Any type of seismic event. You don't trust in patients? Well, trust in this world is very limited. So go with your first mind. If that's what you feel, then by all means, you should feel exactly how you feel. I always feel it's very relative to you personally. So definitely go with how you feel. What was I saying? So during these big events, post events, you will notice that these FEMA camps will be set up all over. And again, each Walmart, all those huge Walmarts are basically storage houses for people post-apocalypse. This is a way to control you. Also with I got to be careful with my words, with the shots, maybe I should watch. The things that they're requiring for children to get now that is becoming mandatory in each country, that is purposefully being done to cap your consciousness, to keep you capped health-wise, and to also chip you prior to such an event that they know is coming. Okay, so just that being said, I do this to make you proactive. This isn't a fear-mongering video. This is to make you very sensible and very aware and prepared. This is a preparedness video. I'm not going to go too long because I can't stay too long. I got to drive out in the frozen tundra. But you have to make sure that you are always aware of your surroundings. No places. Oh, bonjour. You're in Montreal? Okay, so Isabel. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna break because I just see a text on my thing. Isabel, because I see people text me. I know it's crazy. I'm a regular person. Isabel, I'll respond after. If you're in Montreal, anyone from Montreal, you're only an hour and a half from me. You guys can come for the meet and greet on Sunday. So I'll tell you where to go. It's obviously gonna be at a coffee place. I know, I see you, Isabel. I can see you on my screen. Isn't that cool? I can see you. I'll look at it in a minute. I didn't read it. So meet and greet is on Sunday. I'll follow up with your email after I'm done. Okay, so make sure that if you're in a cold region, we're going into cold region preparedness, okay? So for those in cold region, this video is for you, okay? So like I said, there will be establishments that I suggest, it's just my opinion, I just suggest that if you can stay away from large facilities, large, football fields, baseball fields, big arenas, you know, Walmarts. These are places that will be established as hubs for Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Many of you know that's coded. I'm coding the video so that my video stays up, okay? Am I shape-shifting already? Well, I think the code is gonna make me shape-shift. Thank you for making me aware. If you don't mind me shape-shifting, then it's all good in the hood. So, Montreal's in the house. Oh, snap. All my Montreal people are here. I'm in your neck of the woods. So okay, so you're going to avoid have established. Many of you should already have a keen sense of how to preserve water and how to filter out water. Water is the number one key to keeping yourself hydrated, and not even just hydrated, but highly, sorry, my clip is bothering me. I don't like my clip in my, I'm sorry. John, oh, talking to me when I'm on live. Yes, I'm on live. I can see you on here when you're texting me. I can see you on here. So many of you will, what was I saying? I get so distracted. What was I saying? I don't even know what I was saying. I got distracted. Can anyone stop? Is the video going in and out? I hope not. Water. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Please. I don't want to be distracted anymore because I'm already, okay. So water is the number one key to keeping yourself highly sustained, and not only hydrated, but also hygienic. Water is the key to life, especially during a post-apocalyptic scenario. Now, most people are like, oh, I stocked up on water. Oh, I've got water for days. Family, that is the most ridiculous thing. And part of us in the prepper community think that that's a setup. If you go out buying 40 cases of water, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's not the cases of water that matter. It matters that you can sustain yourself in any scenario, inside home, outside home, anywhere, in the wilderness. Having lots of bottled water that is plastic, BPA based, that's good and fine and dandy. And I always say it's great to have stocks of water, but do you know how to filter out your own water? Do you know how to create water? Do you know how to take water that's stagnated and perhaps filled with parasites and all kinds of debris and be able to clear it? Probably not, unless you're a prepper. So one key to survival for any post-apocalyptic or any scenario, in case you get stuck in the snowstorm, in case you get stuck in the middle of a desert, in case you are in the wilderness and you get lost, this is a basic skill set that you should have. So I'm gonna give you 101, get a pen, pencil, because I don't have too much time. Okay, so get a pen and pencil, get it and write it down. Okay, you can always go to my Patreon and, you know, go and look at what's there, but I'm going to give you the basics. So when you have your water, let's say you're out and you don't have water. Now, during a scenario with something that's traumatically happening to the environment, especially when it closes down all systems of operation, unless you're living somewhere where you have pumping well water, most of you don't, unless you're living somewhere like out here, which I'm out now. The house I'm in now, which is considered a fairy house, in the middle of Vermont. This is a fairy house, but it's self-sustaining because it has a pump. It has actually well water. The reason why I requested to stay in this house is because it does have well water, because I realized if I'm coming to Vermont and it is a fairy house in the middle of a cold tundra, I want to be able to access fresh water. Even if the system goes down, I can pump the water, okay? I'm going to tell you how to preserve water and also to clear it so that you can drink it's drinkable. Okay, one of the things that you should always have in your house as a prepper is hydrogen, hydrogen peroxide, food grade hydrogen peroxide. It's wonderful to have. It kills all it kills all parasites. Most parasites are killed with peroxide. It kind of sterilizes the water a little bit. It allows it to be a little drinkable. But that is not the key to making water totally drinkable. It just kills certain aspects of insects that could possibly cause issues health-wise later on. What you definitely need in your prepper situation is a pair of stockings. Why I say it's important? So, you wonderful, wonderful people. Who's trolling? I can't see. Is someone trolling on here already? if you troll, I'm not going to do this video. Let me state this. This is something I feel like I want to give to our family. I really don't like when some of you trolls on here and try to disrupt. Oh, he's not. Okay, he's not doing it. Oh, Dr. Nuts. What's his name? Dr. Nuts? Are you serious? Who names himself that? Anyway. Okay. Yes, CMOS is also. Okay, so having Dr. Nuts. Do we have to, can someone get rid of Dr. Nuts? Melanated High Priestess, how come you don't have, hold on. Melanated High Priestess, hold on. How come I can't, okay. Boop! Melanated High Priestess is a fairy godmother. Please get rid of him with your magic wand if you see him, Dr. Nuts, talking nuts about anything, okay? Thank you. Oh, Kay's here. Thank you, Kay. Kay's here as well. Okay. Stockings is a wonderful thing to have in your repertoire. A lot of young ladies have it. You have little children's stockings. It's always nice to have these stockings in your house because they work as a filter, a nice little handy filter that stretches so that you can put sediment in it to clear out your water. Okay. Number one thing that you do require is to clear your water is you need, if we don't have hydrogen peroxide food grade, which you should have in your bug out bag or in your house. Food grade, it's more important because it's digestible and it also works a lot better. It's a little more high grade. Okay, so if you don't have that in your house, it's not a big deal because I'm going to teach you how to filter out your water. So if you have a pair of stockings, you take a pair of stockings. Then the number one thing to clear out water is sediment layering. Okay, so if you in your house and you're bunkering down in your house, all the apocalypse, all of Trump's supporters and non-Trump supporters are outside talking about make Mars great again. I don't know what they're doing outside, and you're afraid to go out because the Martians have taken over, whatever the case scenario, and you want to bunker in your house. You want to make sure that you have basic things and you can use home-based things. So you have a pair of stockings. If you have cats and you have kitty litter, this is a wonderful thing. Most of you in the Northeast have kitty litter, or you have that because you use it as a de-icer. It's nice to have kitty litter or not ice. What is it called? Not the ice stuff you put on the what's that word? Not the stuff you put on the, not anything but sand. If it can be sand or kitty litter, you can use it as a filtration system. So what you do is you put that at the bottom of your stocking. So you take your handy dandy stocking, which stretches out, and you pour some sediment of sand or kitty litter at the bottom, okay? That'll be one route of going through, okay? Then a nice little thing, which some of you have, and it's not necessary to have it in the house, which you can create it, is charcoal. Charcoal is a wonderful filtration. You see me drink charcoal sometimes when I don't feel well. Remember when I came back from Brazil, it kind of cleared out my system. Charcoal is wonderful for filtering a lot of chemicals and metals, okay? It kind of neutralizes water. You want to, what you can do, if you don't have any charcoal, you can go out and burn some wood. If you burn wood, that wonderful black, that carbon that's left over, it's really good. If a baby also gets sick and she feels, if your baby has eaten anything that's toxic or poison, you always put a little bit of charcoal in their mouth and it'll absorb a lot of the chemicals in there. So you take that and you put that on top of the kitty litter, the sand, as your second tier of sediment removal system. Then at the top, which is basic, what you can do is also put rocks, nice little rocks. It doesn't have to be fancy dancy. Don't put rocks from your house that have dye on it or anything that has color on it. Just rocks from outside. If you have any gravel, it's a wonderful thing to have gravel and put it on top. Okay, so gravel rock also mineralizes things, and also it helps to absorb or mute things as well. Okay, you put that on the top. Now if you don't mind putting a little wood on top as well, wood actually helps to neutralize and raise the pH of water, so it disallows for anything to go in there that's highly acidic. Okay, so this is your filtration system. It's really quick. you make it with you pour the water in, and it's voila, it's clear. Now it's not only clear at that point, you have to boil it. So just because you clear it with a sediment removal and metal removal, that's one thing, but you do want to make sure you clear it totally from any little parasites, little tiny like amoeba type parasites that do end up making it through the sediment removal. Okay, this is a very easy neutral this is a very easy filtration system. This is something you can do. You can be out in the woods, and a lot of times you don't realize you're with the babies. Sometimes you need water. Dehydration is the #1 reason why people get sick or their organs start to shut down. You need to be hydrated, and you want to make sure that you have a if you don't have anything else in your bug out bag, if you're going out of house, having something as a sediment bag or like a milk bag. So a lot of you make your own almond milks. A milk bag is wonderful. You don't have to carry heavy water. It's not very smart for you to try to run or trek with heavy water in your backpack. It's going to weigh you down. And if you're not used to working out and walking long distances and having zero ways of knowing where to go, that can also hamper you and cause more dehydration by even carrying water. So I would suggest, if you're going out in the field, it's better to have a filtration system. Now, if you've got a little loot and you've got a little dough, then by all means, you get yourself a Berkeley's filtration canteen. The Berkeley's is wonderful. Many of you get the Berkeley's. It costs sometimes $200 to $300. It's worth it if you've got a little dough. It will filtrate the water yourself. Chances are it's great to have, but I don't necessarily think it's necessary. How do I get the address for the the time? Got the I didn't put the place for the meet and greet yet. It's gonna be in, I told you the town it's gonna be in. I'll put everything in, just email me. I think I have your number already. Just email me and I'll give the direct. We're just gonna be Sunday. It'll be at one of the coffee places in the main part of Vermont. So I'll put all that information in there. Oh, you don't have my email? Okay. My email is Del. I'm sorry, everyone. I know I'm like double tasking. It's DELGADDESS@gmail.com. DELGADDESS@gmail.com. Okay. So for those who have the handy dandy Berkeley, make sure that you have your Berkeley on you at all times. I don't like relying on anything, because if I'm trying to get out, if I'm trying to go, I don't want to look for anything. If I don't have the bug out bags on hand, I know that I may have a pair of pants. I may have like a little peg. I could put that in my hand real quick. I could do that, and I could have a tooth floss to also help me along the way in building things. These are little things that you can have that don't really weigh you down, and you could bounce real quick without really needing anything. Okay, water is the key to life, and it's the key to your survival. So if you want to research more about this, this is something that I think that everyone on here, and for anyone on here, we have 373 people. Please put a handy like on the video if you like the content of the preparedness, the preparedness video that I'm giving you a little bit of. Colloidal silver is very good. Got to be careful with colloidal silver, because you got to be careful of metals. If there's any sort of EMP attack or anything that has to do causing metals to hamper people's system, you're going to get feelings of like arthritis if you have a lot of metals in you. If you wear a lot of copper, if you wear a lot of metals on you, if there's anything as far as something that magnetically shifts, it may cause problems internally if you have any, even colloidal, which is very, very minuscule amount of silver, but it may hamper your system. Not everybody's the same, so I don't say this for the same. I'm very sensitive to metals, and many of you remember I stopped using metals, pots and everything. Okay, I got it. That's my twin. My twin's leaving, so I have to, how long? Okay, hold on, I have everyone messaging. Sometimes I shouldn't do my lives on my phone, because I get the messages and I can't respond. Okay, okay, so let me go back to my mind thought. Okay, so definitely make sure that you are able to carry, the Berkeley's wonderful. I have a Berkeley, but if I don't have the Berkeley, and let's say something pops off and I'm somewhere with the children and I can't get home to get my Berkeley, I'm always good to be able to survive on my own, and I can definitely do it with just tooth floss, some, especially if you're in a cooler region, we'll go into how to warm yourself up and to make a quick fire outside, especially if you don't know how to do like make the fire like the old cavemen used to do. We can go into that as well. Okay. What? What do you do? You know I'm on live. I can't read your message, and because I'm gonna respond to you on here. I'm sorry. I'm getting a message at the same time. Tell me when you're. Tell me how long it's gonna take you to get there, and I'll meet you there. Okay. I'm reading comments. Okay. Um, spring honey. Remember, honey also collects bacteria, so you got to be careful with honey if you're doing anything with water. In a worst case scenario, when you're in a situation where we don't know what's happened, the system has gone down. There's a lot of non-sanitary situations. You do not want to mess with honey. Honey collects things. It absorbs things. It's great when you have clear honey and you have access to it without it being tampered with or messed with. But when your system is already being hampered by whatever scenario, especially unhygienic situations. And when I say unhygienic, I'm telling you, when a system goes down, there will be no garbage removal. There will be no toilets flushing. You will have to manual flush your toilets. All the system, you won't be able to wash dishes. These are the things that make it very uninhabitable and very unhygienic when you're dealing with post breakdown of a society. So I always say, because of that, you want to be as clean and crisp with what you intake. And for all our fasters, big up to all the fasters in the house. For all of us fasters, remember, Fluorine has steerage. I could last 30 days without eating. Some of you cannot. You have to know yourself. I can let my babies eat, and I can withstand from eating for 30 days. I've already proven that my system can maintain itself without food. So because I've done that, and I've actually trained myself to go without food for long periods of time, I can allow for my offspring to eat, and I can refrain from doing it for that period of time. Okay, so let's go a little further. So we talk about water filtering and so on, but what happens if you're cold, right? You're in the cool tundra, like I am in Vermont. Big up to all our people in Canada and Montreal and in Europe, where it's really cold. What do you do when your heating system's down and you don't have much access? Let's say you're stuck outside. What should you have on you? Now, one of the things when I did a prepper course about 13 years ago. The guy who was my instructor wore no shoes. It was below 20 degrees. He walked around with no shoes out in the cold and freezing. And we went around walking. Okay. Okay. I'll see you in an hour. Walking around and showing us edible plants, and also showing how to maintain himself and keep his body warm. Okay, this is a scenario if you're running out of the house or you don't have any socks or shoes and you just have to get out of a situation. And I love that he did this. He was one of the best prepper instructors. Big up to Timothy. He was amazing. Really taught me a lot about different edible plants and things to avoid, especially hemlock. And he really taught us how to keep warm in cold scenarios, cold situations. So one of the things that you need to have, which is I thought was phenomenal, is if you have a medicine. Many of you have, I don't know if you take medicine, but if you don't, like a little container, like the little plastic medicine containers, the little plastic metal containers, they're really cool. So in those little plastic containers, you're saying, well, what do I need it for? Empty out the medicine unless it's something that you feel you can barter with. Remember, keep everything for bartering. Post pole shift, you will have to need things to barter with, because that will be the way that we exchange. That will be our currency. So if you have things like medicine or antibiotics, things like that you feel might be necessary, pain pills, because the whole society is all addicted to all kinds of craziness. You want to put that in a little baggie and save it for bartering. Make sure you mark it, put it aside. At post pole shift, there will be people who will require pain medication and things, and that's a good bartering system if you need something for them for you to exchange. Okay, so for those who have medicine bottles, you want to get a little plastic medicine bottle. When you get the plastic medicine bottle, you want to take, how you have the cotton balls. The cotton balls? Okay. Now, the only thing I will ever suggest you using petroleum jelly with, the real petroleum jelly, the really ghetto, nasty dollar store petroleum jelly that you should never put on you because it's sentient, this is the one time I'm going to tell you to use it. You're going to take your cotton balls. You take about 10 or 15. You can actually fit about 30 if you're really clever. You take them and you push them inside of petroleum jelly, cotton balls, little white cotton balls, and you put them in and you make sure they're nice and saturated with that petroleum, and you shove it inside of that that medicine. I've shoved 30 in there before, but I've had my other girlfriend who was on the preparedness thing, she could only get 15. Be clever about it and so on. You're saying, Florburn, what do I need petroleum jelly, a medicine bottle, and cotton balls for? This is your fire starter. Petroleum lights up like a beam of flame. Whenever you have it, it's the easiest thing to start a fire with. It's quick and easy, and it will maintain itself for longer, even if you have dense wood that needs to be dried out. Okay, so what you do is you have that. You could put it in a brazier. You know how we like to put things in our braziers? Because hopefully post-apocalyptic, we can burn all the bras. But until we burn our bras, we can shove them with, medicine, especially for us busty babs. For the smaller, more minute women, you can actually fit a whole lot more. For us busty babs, we gonna fit at least 1 or 2 of those containers in our braziers. Or men, you can put it in the side pockets and so on. Why is this important? It's because it's very light, it's very easy to carry. In a scenario where anything can happen, you can put one in your glove compartment. You can actually, yes, it's sentient. Yeah, I don't ever use anything with any petroleum on baby's hair. It's sentient. So I always say don't put it on your skin. This is something to burn, okay? You go and set it ablaze, all right? So you can keep 1 in your glove compartment. That's a suggestion. You keep 1 in the medicine cabinet in your house. You keep 2 in your cabinets in your kitchen. You also keep it in your storage in the back. Like sometimes you have your sheds. Keep a couple in there. Sometimes keep it in your daughter's or your son's backpacks. If you can, 1 or 2. These are ways so that you always have access to it, especially if you're in the colder region. Make sure you have 1 around somewhere. That way, if something goes on and you need something quickly, let's say you just grab the baby's backpack real quick, at least you know there's 1 in there. If you're in the house, you know that you have 2 in the cabinet. You know if you're in the car, you got a buggy, you got to be out, you may not have a lot of gas, you know you're going to need heat, you know you got 1 in the glove compartment. Make sure you're very proactive in how you resolve being prepared in any scenario. Anything could pop off. You got to be prepared if something pops off. If you're at work, have something in your office cabinet or your drawer so that you have something there so that you can sustain your coworkers. Make sure you have something at home. Make sure you have something in the car. Make sure if you have elderly people that you have a system set up for them in case you're unable to get to them. You have to make sure that you have a healthy panoramic a way of addressing anything necessary for prepping. Okay, so so that's heat. Now, one of the things you're going to definitely need, and I always suggest those from the cooler regions, I've got moon boots, but the heat warmers, which you can buy from the dollar store, are thebomb.com. If you can get the heat warmers, they're like little hand warmers, they're cute. You could buy them from the dollar store. You should have those around the house, and you should have them in the car, and you should have them in your little people's bags. These are quick and easy, and they will keep yourself warm for at least 3 hours. Sometimes they don't work, but just an hour. I've used it, but it does help you to keep your hands from being numb while you're creating fire. So while you're creating fire, if you have to be outdoors and you're not able to ignite a fire quickly in order to warm yourself or find shelter, it's always good to have this as a as a go-to, just to have a little bit of warmth so that you can function, so you're not going into hypothermia. Hypothermia kicks in, and usually it's a systematic way that your body will shut down. You want to make sure that your feet and your hands are warm because those are the ones that you need the most. Everything else that goes numb, you just go and let it happen because you got to maintain the things that will help you function and help you move forward. Okay. Check it in the house. Please put a handy dandy like on the video if you appreciate the prepper information. Big up to everyone who's in Vermont. You're going to come and see us in the meet and greet in Vermont in 2 days. Big up to everyone in Montreal. The pole shift is on and popping in. It's on track for 7 years. I think it's going to happen sooner. So I say this. people always say, well, why are you telling people there's a pole shift? If it doesn't happen, all fine and dandy. But if it does happen, wouldn't you prefer to have some information that would be pertinent to you and your family's survival? I mean, I always feel like it's okay to be proactive in making sure that if anything happens, the same way that you pay life insurance or you pay car insurance, it's in case anything happens. Doesn't mean you're going to get in a car wreck. It doesn't mean you're going to have any accident, but it means that in case something happens, there's something in the arrears that can allow for you to be taken care of if that happens, okay? So make sure you have hand warmers and so on, okay? The most important things on your body that need to be warm are hands, feet, and head, okay? You lose that, like for people like me who have a lot of hair, I have a lot of hair. You see all this hair? It's a lot of hair. A lot of our indigenous women have a lot of hair, okay? So if you have a lot of hair, I have a lot of warmth on my head. My hair is frizzing already. I have a lot of warmth on my head. This helps to keep my head warm. For all of our family who tend to shave their heads, a lot of our males, you're going to have an issue with your head, okay? Hair has to be warm. For those who have dreadlocks, beautiful coils, froze, this is why the natural hair movement is the bomb.com, because that helps to keep your skull and your head warm. You know, just like you have a woolly hat, just to have beautiful woolly hair and coiled hair, that is absolutely the most pertinent thing to keeping your hair warm. So if you have your head shaved, I always suggest to all our males, start growing out your hair and your beard, because this is going to be very necessary for you in the next shift. You know, that also helps you to sustain a certain amount of hygiene as well. Make sure that if you don't have that, you need to make sure that you have a warm skull cap, like something close to the skin, because you can have a wool hat on top, but it does not necessarily seal in the warmth. You want to have a hat in your glove compartment, like a skull. You guys know what that is, like something that's close to the scalp that will keep your hair warm, okay? Sometimes if you have the warmers, it's great to put it on your head and then put the scully on top of it, okay? What if you want your hair to grow? Your hair won't grow? All hair grows. All hair grows. Some hair grows differently. People of color, our hair grows the more it's tighter. Our hair grows when it's untouched. You know what I mean? So for those who have more coiled hair and so on, usually what happens if you have coiled hair, the way that our hair grows is by binding it, braiding it, or coiling it. It just helps to sustain, you know, that. We don't necessarily need long hair though. You just may need thick hair. It's not as necessary to keep warm if your hair is thicker, because your head is warm. You don't need a lot of long hair to keep your rest of your body warm if you have thick hair. It keeps your head warm. It's multifaceted. Coiled hair protects against the sun and radiation, and also protects the head from any damage. EMPs also have a hard time going through coiled hair, because coiled hair has emitters on it, almost like a tree. That's why you don't mess with your hair. And so the more that you have thick hair, the less you need long hair. Okay, the thicker the hair, then you don't need it longer. Thicker hair doesn't require length, it requires thickness in order to protect the skull. Those who don't have thick hair, they need longer hair to protect the body and the rest of the body. So it kind of works like a drapery. Okay. Have a warm hat. Okay. So do know when your feet get warm. Oh gosh. Oh, this is another thing that's necessary in your prepper. Repertoire. The number one thing to keep yourself warm is cayenne pepper. You should have cayenne pepper everywhere in your house. Make sure you have good old-fashioned organic cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper can also stop a heart attack as well. So cayenne pepper is multifaceted. It's number one. Many of you remember I used to dance. I used to teach, Latin dance, like cumbia, oh my gosh, salsa, merengue, bachata. I used to teach that. So a lot of times when I was teaching dancing, it was crazy though, I would put cayenne pepper in my lotion, and it would keep my body nice and hot. It's also a detoxer. So but it keeps your body warm. So I would do that when I was working out, because that's my zen, dancing. But if you take cayenne pepper and you put it in a little bit of lotion, or you put it in castor oil, non-hexane castor oil, and you put it on your feet and hands, it will keep them warm for hours. Do you understand? Hours. Okay, so do have cayenne pepper in your prepper bag. It is a necessity. If someone's about to have a heart attack, number one thing that I've heard and I've seen it work, and I'm not a doctor, this is what I've noted, I've witnessed, and also know it works, is having cayenne pepper. Also, it cauterizes, so it stops bleeding. So make sure you have cayenne pepper. It's wonderful. Look up the benefits of cayenne pepper and have it in your bag. It is the best thing that you can have, especially in a cooler region. It will keep you warm. And the babies, because the babies a lot of times don't, they get very agitated. You put a little bit in their lotion, especially if you have like a ghee lotion. This is a time when I know a lot of you don't like to use animal lotions or things like that, but goat and ghee are one of the number one things that will keep you warm if you add cayenne pepper to them, because the way that the fat of the animal works, it helps to seal in warmth. Okay, so if you have a little bit of ghee, put it in a little container. If you have a little bit of goat milk or goat lotion, put it in the container, and it works wonderful with the little people. Okay. Okay, so we talked about warmth and so on. Okay, number one thing that I can only suggest to you, and definitely you need to work on, is your skills of reading a map. I have to work on this better as myself, but I keep maps all over. Many of you will not be able to function because you won't know what direction you go in. One of the ways that I learned how to do direction was through the Native American, I'm sorry, I was eating some nuts before I came. It's like in my mouth. I'm sorry. It's so inappropriate. Having like, I lost my train of thought again. Oh, having, oh my gosh, how do I do this all the time? This is amazing. Like, I'm so excited to be in Vermont. I'm sorry. Sometimes I just, my mind just goes left. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, okay. So having directional sense is necessary in order for survival. One of the things I learned, a couple of different ways to learn direction without having a compass, which I thought was a bomb. Big up to my instructor, who was Timothy, was amazing. He taught us how to do it with a leaf and water, and also to do it with hands. So what happens a lot of times is during emergency situations, when if you watch Walking Dead, sunlight is a big deal. You want to be out of harm's way in darkness, because that's when people pop off. That's when the savages come out, because they like to come out in the guise of nighttime. So you always want to know how to gear how much daylight you have left. So one of the ways that I loved that my instructor would do is we would be in the sunlight, and he would have me like put my fingers up here. I can't even show you in here. I don't know if I can. Put it in here, and I would be able to gauge from how far it was from my top finger to my middle finger how much sunlight I had left. That would give me time to know how long I could get to somewhere else, how far I could probably trek, how quickly we need to make camp if necessary in case it gets dark. You can practice with that, because when you start putting your hand to the sky and you kind of do this and you start to see it, you can do it every day, because it doesn't take a lot. Just do it and be able to gear it and do that every day so that you can be able to read sunlight. And as far as direction, you can make your own compass with water and a little leaf that can turn directions. Okay, so because the magnetic pole is shifting, it's a little more difficult now. So this is what I say. There are a couple preppers that are thebomb.com. I think they're still online. I hope they still are. They can actually teach you how to do it with a leaf. I always say, because I'm an indigenous woman and I know a lot of the old principles of the things that my people did, I say go primitive first, but if you have extra, that's all good in the hood. So if you have a little extra, like you have a compass, by all means, definitely use it. But if you don't have it, I don't want you to I want to make sure that you feel proficient with nature. Nature is our guide. Everything that we have that is proficient, that mimics nature, it was made from nature. So I want to make sure you're proficient in the nature part. And if you have the extra, by all means, if you have the bomb. Okay, let's see. Can you guys see me? Oh, can you see me? Hello? Oh. Can anyone see me? Am I back? Let me know if you can see me. Can you guys see me? Yes? Oh, good. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. It just shut off. I got a phone call and then it shut off totally. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. All right. Let's do this quickly because they're going to shut me down. Okay. So, okay. So what were you getting into? Okay. So we got it to, can you tell me where I ended? Does anyone know where it ended? Hey, Kareem. I know we look so alike, right? Thank you, everyone. Directions. Okay, so it's important for you to be able to read a map. If there's anything that I ever share with you, the number one thing that they won't ever tell you to do, that's why we always have GPS, is get yourself a handy dandy map. You need to learn how to read a map. You have to learn it. You need to carry it with you. You need to be able to be directionally efficient, because it's the number one thing that can get you in trouble. You can always know how to get places like alternate roads. There's not even roads on the GPS. You know that the GPS is Willy Wonka does things so you don't know there's alternative roads. Do you know during the time when there's going to be craziness and madness, they're going to only have roads that they want you to take? They're going to lead you to the slaughter family. So I need you to be able to read maps and see roads. And I need you to get access. Listen to me. Shh. I need you, listen. I need you to get access to special maps from years ago. Listen to me. I need you to get maps from like 13, 14 years ago. See if you can go to eBay. I don't know why I'm whispering. Go to eBay. Get the old maps, not the new ones. The old maps actually have roads that you don't see on GPS. Those are the roads that you need to take. I need you to go find the old maps. Anything 13 years prior, because that's when GPS became a fanatical system that everyone uses. Go pre that. So I don't care if you go to like, what's that? Go to like those people, you know, like the geeks like me. There's geeks that like to keep old maps. You know, remember the guy on 2012 that they say I act like? He had tons of maps. Go look at the old maps. And if you have them, make copies or give people copies. Make sure you get maps of all the regions that you're closest to. So if you're at any borders, make sure you get a map. So here in Vermont, big up to anyone in Vermont and Canada. For anyone in Canada or Vermont, you would have a map of this region, anywhere going towards Boston, the North Hampshire area, or going towards Canada. So you would have a northeastern map, but basically going either south or north. Make sure you get an efficient map so that in case you have to get out of Dodge, let's say you hear that the zombies apocalypse, all of the grays are all on the south. You want to make sure that you can find the off-roads that are in the back that you can take so that you're not with the sheeple. The sheeple are all going to be on Highway 97. The sheeple are going to all be on Highway 10. They're all going to be taking the main roads. Oh. There's a dog upstairs. Okay, so make sure you have maps of places, maps of roads, off-road roads. So if you guys actually have maps of like places that are like big, you said it's Bigfoot. You guys are so silly. Are you trying to scare me? Big up to Barry Littleton. Where's Barry when I need him? Barry, because Barry would find the Bigfoot here. Okay, so maps. Now, anyone who in certain regions, that's why I do meet and greets. If you meet me up and you found a certain map, if you don't mind sharing with me so I can share it with the family, this is why we do, that's why Fleurburn is going coast to coast, meeting everyone at meet and greets. We are going to share our own intel and we won't do it publicly. We will do it in person. So if any of you in Vermont or Montreal have a secret map that you found that has predated roads, please share it with me and I will share it with the rest of the family. We have to make sure that we're covert because we're at that time, family. They are really trying really hard to make sure. Hello, how are you?
Great.
Good. Hold on. Nice to meet you. Say hi to my host. Oh, I'm on the live. Say hi, this is my host.
I'm Jocelyn.
I love it. I love it. I took me a while to get here. It was like a secret squirrel, road coming out here. Yeah.
Do you have any trouble finding it? Or
No,
just,
it was perfect. GPS got me here perfectly. But then,
slow with the snow.
Yeah, it was nice though. But the flight was beautiful. Yeah, I love it.
Okay. And so your partner is coming?
Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna go meet him in Burlington and then we'll come back. Yeah.
And is he flying?
No, he's coming from the other. Well, I can't say on there, but he's coming from another direction. I'm trying to be really, keep the anonymity. Yeah, but he's coming from another direction, so we're gonna meet up in Burlington, and then we'll come back. But it was fine coming. It wasn't that far. It's just the snow. I wasn't ready coming from Florida with the snow.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful.
Yeah.
How long have you been here? Can I tell everyone?
Living here?
Yeah.
30 years.
30 years. How do you like living out here?
Well, I love the winter.
You do. You
It's
do.
my favorite season. So.
It is. So do you like cut wood and do all that good that lumberjack kind of stuff?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. That's what keeps us warm. Splitting the wood.
How far are we from Canada? How far are we from Montreal?
About 2 hours to Montreal.
Okay, it's 2 hours from here. Ah. So you like the winter the most of the time. Do you go skiing as well?
Skiing, snowshoeing,
Oh,
ice skating.
I love it. Okay. So it should be beautiful. I love the fairy house. I love it. I have a spider that's in a cup that I didn't want to hurt.
Oh.
He's a jack spider. He's in the bedroom. So I left him there. I don't know if you feel like, I don't know if you're scared of, how are you with spiders? No? You're okay with them? I don't want to hurt him though.
Okay. So do you want me to take
Yeah,
it?
if you don't mind.
Sure.
I don't want him to get hurt though.
Okay.
'Cause he's in the bedroom and the
Okay.
side. Thank you. They're laughing at me. I got a little jack spider and I don't want to. He's in a cup. Oh, let me show you. Hold on, family. I love them, but he was a little spry. So I was like, I don't want to really mess with him too much. So I figured either wait, we'll take him out, or you'll come and take him out. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me show you something about this.
Yes.
I noticed the thermostat, it's on connected to the thermostat, but for some reason it wasn't coming on.
Okay.
So right now, so this switch back here,
Okay.
it's on manual now, and then in the middle is off, and then down is on the thermostat, but for some reason
Ah.
it wasn't coming on.
So if
So
I
what
put
I would suggest is just turn it on when you want it, and
okay.
then turn it
Okay,
off.
I'll do that. Because when I leave, I'm just gonna turn it off. How are the roads? Did you take the roads from the front?
They're okay, I mean, there's still some snow on the road, but,
Well,
so-
they gave me a car that they said was better, lower. Because I was getting the truck, but they said no, this would be better in the road.
So, wait, so you said you're picking him up at the airport?
Well, he's not at the airport. He's coming from another direction, but he doesn't know how to get here. So I said I'll go meet him out there.
What's his name?
So, well, someone.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. They
Alright.
want to know. They want to know too.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's good. It's perfect. Thank you so much.
And let's see, you saw the sheet over there that has like the internet
Yeah.
password on it
Yeah, I
and stuff?
already read it. Yeah, it's
okay.
perfect.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you. I saw your goodies in the cabinet. You had tea and hot cocoa. I was making him go get provisions for me, but
So I think I didn't turn this fridge on. So
you
if
don't have to. I don't
okay.
need it right
No,
now.
okay.
No, not right now.
It is a little noisy, so if you're not using it, I would say
No, I'm not
don't
gonna use it
bother, but
tonight
if you
because
want
we're
to,
just gonna get.
fine.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get some fruit or something,
Okay.
and we'll be fine. Thank you. Oh wait, should I turn this back on for now? I'm not gonna leave right now.
Sure.
Turn-
Yeah. Whatever.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Have a good night.
Good night.
Okay. All right. Hey everyone. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is when Flurboom goes real. Flurboom goes live. You know when people really go live? This is real live. Like this is like you gonna hear everything live. This is actually the maker, the creator of the house. He actually created the house. So he's over on the other side. So this is called a fairy house. It's a tree house. So he actually created this space. It's actually, it's beautiful. It's Dutch and Japanese. So it's really, really sweet. And there's like fairy stuff in the back. And it's kind of like that's what I'm saying. It was kind of themed after Charlotte's Web. That's why I didn't want to hurt the spider either. I was like, it's Charlotte's Web. I can't hurt the spider. It's so pretty. It's beautiful. Like it's a dream outside. It really is. So I plan to come back. And like I said, it's a really beautiful space. And you'll see there's like other stuff over there, like a Dutch oven and everything like that. Okay, so where are we? Yeah, Vermont is beautiful. I'm gonna have you guys all come out here. I might even do, cause I'm gonna do the meet and greet here, but I love it. Yeah, it's really so dreamy, so dreamy. And the kitty cat met me at the door. Old maps. Okay, so we have old maps. Make sure you have old maps. Aw, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Elijah. Aw, thank you. Thank you, love. How are you? Elijah's one of our family. Hey, love. How's mommy doing? How's the mom doing? Tell your mom I said hi. You know, when I know one, I know like the whole family. Okay, so old maps. So make sure you have the old maps. I want to make sure you get the old system. For those living in New York, you need to make sure that you know the subway system. What they used to be able to do on microfish, fish back in the days. I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if they do microfish anymore. That tells you my age. I used to look on microfish, and you could actually see the old system of the tunneling underneath the city. So why is it important for you to know? I know if you're not really scary, it's good for you to know the tunneling and how it works in case something goes down. It's also good to know because some of those tunnels go a little further out rather than using the highways or the roads. So if you're kind of gully like that and you feel, you know, that you bruck up enough to take the underground system, if you find the old system via the microfish, I used to do it for fun in New York. I don't know if they still do it, but you might be able to get the microfish version of the underground tunneling of New York City and how it's mapped out. That'll allow you to be able to go through New York a little easier. So maps. What else are we going to discuss? The little people. This is important because I'm going to leave in like, I got to leave in like 15 minutes, family, and I got to clean up a little bit. I got to meet my partner. He's out. My twin flame is somewhere out in the snowstorm. I'm going to go meet him. I was going to say the little people. Okay, so most of us have little ones, right? Or we have animals. And part of prepping that most people don't discuss is how to deal with the stressors or what goes on with our little ones. Okay, you know, you may have a dog, you may have a cat, you may have a hamster, you may have a snake, you may have a bird, you may have children. You know, these are important factors that play into your survival and also your stressors. Because if you feel like you can't take them with you or you feel like they're stressed out, it also stresses you out. So let's go into the children version. One thing I always suggest for mommies and daddies, for nursing mothers, this will probably be easier for you. Post-apocalyptic scenarios for nursing mothers will be easy breezy cover girl. When you nursed, the baby is always sustained. The wonderful thing about why I traveled for the longest time with my little ones, like my little girls, I used to travel on the planes, is because I was nursing them all the time. And, you know, a lot of people, though that may not seem as a factor as important, nursing mothers just know that I would sustain nursing for as long as possible, especially if you know that a pole shift is coming, just because it will soothe your child and disallow from the mid to be a stress. And also it releases oxytocin in you. It will keep you calmer. So every time you nurse, you're releasing oxytocin, which kind of calms you down and it lessens your stress. Also keeps the baby very, very calm, and it's very necessary. You know, there's not going to be anywhere for you to warm up bottles. There's not going to be sanitary milk. These are important factors that you need to know as a mother of a little person. So I always say, if you're planning to have babies within the next 3 or 4 years or now, or if you're a nursing mother or you plan to nurse in the future, that's something to take in consideration as a factor when keeping babies nursed for at least, you know, I'm French, so at least 5 years. We usually nurse our children a little longer than those in the States. You know, those in the States have more stigmas and, you know, more taboos about nursing. Nursing is the most natural thing, and children stay healthier when they're nursed. So if you're a nursing mother, you're thinking about having children, gentlemen, just, you know, this is a conversation you should have is as far as maintaining nursing during any sort of post problematic scenario situation. Now coming to little ones that that are about ages from about 1 or a couple months to 2. If you are not nursing, one of the things that self-sustains well is having dried hemp milk or dried milk. Now, I'm not a fan of dairy, but during a post-apocalyptic scenario, having dried what is it called? There's a name for it. It's called HC something milk. Having it on you and being able to create that as having that as a powder will allow you long sustaining of having something long term for the babies in case you need it. Okay, so there is dried hemp. It's really hard to get. I know in Europe they have it. I think in Canada you can get it. Or dried milk, which is the dried milk I always suggest because I don't like dairy for babies. I don't think it's healthy. I prefer, if you do dried milk, then do dried goat's milk. It's higher in fat content and it's more like the mother's milk. Okay, so if you can yeah, they have dried hemp milk. I know I got it abroad. But if you have if you can get dried goat's milk, I would suggest you do it. It's very good. And also this is good for pets as well. If you have cats or dog, you know, cats drink milk as well. This is also good to sustain yourself if you need, you know, some fat, soluble fat, you know, intake during a time when your body's being stressed out. Okay. These are things that you would use in emergencies. I'm not, like I said, I'm not an advocate of using anything with lactose or milk or any other species milk. I think my milk, you know, I'm a mother. I believe my milk sustains my offspring and my milk can sustain a human being. So if you're a nursing mother, also know that your milk also can sustain your older children and your husband. I know people don't like to discuss that, but we're adults here. It's very real. A mother who's healthy can sustain and create milk, and it also can help to give fat soluble nutrition to her family. Okay, so that's also important to know. You know, okay, you breastfeed. Yeah, breastfeeding is very pertinent, but dried milk is also good. So if you have dried milk, always keep a little bit of dried milk in a container when you're traveling with little ones. Have it in the car. Dried milk lasts a long time. Keep it in the glove compartment. Keep it in a dark container, a little dark container. Just a little bit can sustain a long way. So this way, if you have babies, then you have a bottle in the car and you have a little bit of dried milk in case you can't get to the grocery store. This, a lot of times, this much dried milk can last you 3 to 6 months, depending on how proactive you are or how, you know, how resourceful you are. 3 to 6 months that can sustain a baby. So if you have this much in a container, a dark container, keep one in your car. Keep one in your keep the bigger container in your cabinet in your house. Keep this much in your backpack, your bug out bags. Put one in each bug out bag, and always have a nice sterile bottle in your bags so that in case you have to go somewhere, you don't have to worry about trying to find a bottle. You have one in the car, in your backpack, or in you know, other places like your office, somewhere where you know that you're going to travel with your babies. Okay. Now, for people who have little ones that are a little bigger, this is when stressors can be interesting during a time when we have like apocalyptic type of issue or a shutdown of a system. One thing I say is that having dried fruit, this is something that I do. I'm sorry, I'm getting hungry. Having dried fruit, this is something I do myself, and if you don't do it yourself, that's fine. I would suggest, if you get a chance, get a dehydrator and a sealer. This is what I did for a long period of time, especially when I grew my own food. Having a dehydrator, so that when you have extra mango, extra papaya, extra breadfruit, you can actually dehydrate it and actually seal it and put in your bug out bag. This, like having dried papaya or dried pineapple and putting a little agave or putting a little honey actually on those, that can make a baby calm down. That can make a child be calmer during a situation where they're uncomfortable. Usually children have a hard period of time, especially we have children who are very addicted to social media, and a lot of times sugar is what keeps them calmer, which is something that I'm not a promoter of. So what I say is, because I know candy works well for some preppers, I always suggest you do dehydration and freeze dry, yes, the machine, and do you can sweeten your own pineapples. My little ones, like, they love dehydrated pineapples. But remember, as much as you have them have dehydrated fruit, remember it has to be rehydrated. The body will take moisture to rehydrate the fruit that they consume, so be careful. So they should only have a taste of it. Do it sparingly, because you don't want them to have to hydrate what's being dehydrated because they have to use liquid in their body to be able to hydrate dehydrated fruits. Okay, so just know, just give them a little bit to make them like in a stressful situation. You give them a little bit of dried pineapple, dried papaya, dried strawberries with a little bit of agave that's been dried and sealed. It will actually calm the babies down, and it'll keep them, give you a level of peace of mind while you're traveling or going somewhere. Also, having a deck of cards, having marbles. These are wonderful things to have with the babies, because a lot of times you may be sitting long places, long periods of time without electronics. Having little games, little things that you can carry, I always say marbles are the best. Having little marbles, because children are very masterful when they have little things like that. Having those things readily available to them always works well. Okay, so have little things like that in the car, little things like that. Teeth wipes. This is number one, very important thing with hygiene. I gotta go, family. Okay, I only have about, how long do I have? I think I have about, I gotta leave in like, I know you guys don't want me to go. We'll be back. I'll do something with my twin flame if he's down to do it. Let me do a video with my twin flame. I won't show his face. I'll show his feet. I'm joking. Twin flame, twin flame, twin flame, twin flame. Yeah, I don't have much time. Okay, pets. Most important thing with pets that I found was really interesting is that most people don't anticipate pets. Now, one thing that I do is big up to Murphy Lee and Sheena. Many of you watched me for many years with my dogs. Sheena and Murphy Lee had both passed. I had my dogs for 18 years. I incorporated them in my prepper plan. One of the things I had is a bug out bag for my animals. I love them. They were my family. It's really hard not to have them because I prepped with them for so many years. I had a bug out bag for my dogs. So what I did in my bags is I also had, a lot of times in case of emergencies, if you do not have paperwork for your dogs, they will not let you bring your dog on a flight, and they won't let you bring your dogs on a plane. I mean on a boat. They won't let your dogs go into facilities. I don't want you to go in a facility, but if you had to, if you don't have paperwork, they won't let your dogs go. So what I always do is I keep copies. I kept copies of my dogs' vaccinations and also their paperwork with their names saying that they were dogs that were listed. You have to do that, okay? Also, I made sure that with their tags, I kept tags with their name on it and my number, but also I kept a little, it's cute, like a little paper tag on top on their tags that had my phone number, my ex-husband's phone number, my mother's phone number, in case they were lost from me. So I always had extra tag on that had several phone numbers on them. But in the bug out bag, I had paperwork. Also in the bug out bag, I did carry muzzles. A lot of times when you're traveling with dogs, dogs get really rowdy, and I don't believe in muzzling. But if it is a case scenario where we have to be quiet, there's a problem, there's thieves coming around, you want to make sure that you can quiet your dogs. And having a muzzle, a very soft muzzle, and keeping them calm, that is something that is necessary. Why I say that is because even with Katrina, you heard a lot of people's dogs being killed and murdered, or people being found because their dogs were howling and hollering, and people would know that people were in the house and they would come and murder them. This is something that we have to discuss. So having little muzzles for your dogs just as a way to keep them quiet in case of emergencies. Also, I would have the packs of tuna fish and the packs of food, because they're compressed, and I would do it myself. If I made I would make like a meal, and I would freeze dry it, and I would dehydrate it, and I would put them because the food would turn out almost like a jerky, like a dried mash that you can hydrate with a little bit of water. I would freeze dry that and mash them, and it would be flat. So I could get about 15, 20 of those in my backpack or more. And what would happen is you can do a little bit of that, and then you can add a little water, and it becomes like a little mash or mush for them, and they would love it. My dogs loved it. So always know you can dehydrate their food as well. I would always have like about 15 to 20 of those packs. It would help you to be able to sustain them for a longer period of time. You can ration as you seem or deem is suitable, and that would be great. Yeah, dogs also eat raw meat, but you want to make sure they're hygienic, because raw meat also could get them sick. If you have domesticated dogs that have been eating regular humanized food, then their endocrine system is not used to raw meat, and they might get diarrhea, they might get parasites and worms. Those are things you have to take in consideration, because if we have a system that's shut down, what vet can you bring them to? Who are you bringing your dog to if they get sick? Okay? Also, make sure you have fluorescent leashes. Listen to me, fluorescent leashes. One of the things I had is fluorescent leashes for my dogs in case I had needed to see them in the dark. And also they light up the road. So sometimes if you have dogs or cats that are very, friendly and walking outside on their own, having fluorescent or iridescent leashes or harnesses allows for them to walk outside and be seen, so that you can find them easier if they run away, or if you're going on the track and you're walking together. Okay, it's very necessary. I had those. Also, I had what else did I have for my doggies? Oh, mitts. One of the things you have to be careful with the dogs, especially in a post-apocalyptic, post-pole shift, we don't know the sediments that will be on the ground. Some of those things will be irritants. We don't know if there's retardants on the ground to keep from fires. Sometimes they put retardants over fires, and it's very burnt. It burns dogs or cats or animals' paws. So what I like to do is keep, I used to keep mitts for their paws. Make sure you have mitts and have a couple rubber bands in there in case the mitts are too big, or they'll try to take them off, so that you can bind them to them a little bit. Okay. What else? I know I could do part. I think I'm gonna do part two. I'm gonna be in Vermont for a little bit. Maybe I'll be able to do part two. I gotta go, family, because I gotta wash up a little bit and get ready. So let me see if you have any questions. But I wonder what I can do when I want to travel outside the country. Traveling outside the country, you have to have copies of everything. I will be safe. I promise I'll be safe. When is this happening? Oh, the pole shift is it's on deck for 7 years. Now, I think it may happen a little earlier. So I always say this, be prepared. Hopefully it doesn't happen sooner, but you can be prepared before that. Oh, I already told you guys to get passports. You guys should have passports. This is one thing I told you to do, and it became valid because in Bahamas, that was one of the pertinent things that some people listen, and they actually got out quicker. So have your passports. One of the things when a system breaks down, if you don't have a passport, you're not getting one. And if you want to leave the borders, like go through Canada, go through Mexico, who do you think is getting through the borders if something's popping off in the States? Who do you think is getting over the borders? The people with passports, who have legitimate paperwork. Always have your passports. You should have passports for your babies. You should have, and I always tell the mamas who have babies' daddies, I told you to sweeten them up with a little bit of sugar and get those passports for those babies, because you require the father's or the mother's signature in order to get a passport to leave the country. These are things that a lot of mothers don't know until they're trying to leave. I'm telling you, as a mother, make sure you have the daddies or the mommies, especially if you're not together, do this now, okay? The holidays are coming up. Be real sweet and say, listen, baby cakes, I know we've been arguing for 20 years. I know we don't like each other, but you know what I'm saying, baby? I want my baby to travel. You want your baby to travel. You know what I'm saying? Just sign the papers so that your child can be as expounded in their consciousness. Tell them whatever you need. Get your paperwork for the babies, okay? We get paperwork, get the paperwork for babies. And also, mothers who are traveling outside the country, the number one thing you need to do is get paperwork that says your child can travel out of the country, and the father or mother has to sign it. Make sure you do that as well, because you have to go with the extra piece of paper. You'll see it on the sites. It'll say it's a release paper. So because of all the child trafficking and all the craziness, a lot of children can't travel anymore with one parent. So make sure that you have paperwork, the extra paperwork with the passport, saying that your child can travel, and make sure you have him or her sign it for at least 3 years or 4 years. Make them sign it indefinitely. They can travel indefinitely. Do it as well, but you can also do that. You have to get that done via a notary. You have to get that notarized. Okay, so get this done, hook or crook. Get this done. What else? Oh, contact lenses. Okay, this is a whole other. I won't have time for that. I'll try to do part two. I can't promise you I could do that. You can do notary online, family. Did you know that? I actually did my notary. Listen, you can do, it's called notary.com. You put the app on your phone and they actually notarize on Skype. Did you know that they notarize on Skype now? Because a lot of corporations do that. A lot of the stushies do that. So you don't have to go to a notary anymore. You could do notary on Skype. You can see it, it's an app. So I've done it before a couple of times. So you get a notary, you do it on Skype. The person calls you, they verify it's you, they verify the other person, and oh, you've got Skype notary. Okay? It's fantastic. It's I think it's Skype. It's still on my phone. It's like Skype Notary. Go in an app, and it's an app. It's like Notary Skype. You guys can Google it. It's right there. It's easy breezy. I've used it, and it's thebomb.com. They call you. You can do it from any country. You can be out in Spain, and they do it. I did it when I was out of the country, and they did it in like 2.5 seconds. Okay. All right, family. Big up to everyone in Vermont. Big up to all my Canadian family. Big up to everyone going to the meet and greet. I'm out. Please put a handy dandy like in the video if you like the content. I gotta go. I hope this was helpful. I thought being in Vermont, being kind of like stuck in the middle of the, beautiful tundra. It's beautiful. I'm not really stuck, but I'm in a beautiful tundra. Just, I thought it'd be interesting for you guys to, I always thought, well, I'm always in warm weather when I'm, thinking in prepper mode, but what if I was in the cold, right? What if it's in that colder region? What would it be like? Okay. So, I will give all the information where the meet and greet is on Sunday. It's going to be in Burlington. So just know if you're in Vermont, you're going to be in Burlington. We're going to do it at like a coffee place, probably like Starbucks. If I can find a Starbucks. I'm going to find a Starbucks. If this is Starbucks, I'm going to find it. Okay? So if you want to meet us on at about 1 o'clock on Sunday at Burlington in Vermont, this is a free greet and meet. You never have to pay to meet for Flurboon. You could just come and meet. I like to meet. I've gotten the go ahead by the Andromedans to do a meet and greet amongst all the sea stars and the sun celestials, and this is a time for me to let you meet your family. So the best time to do this is when we meet together. Pavel was there. We did amazing. Rohan was there. We did amazing meet and greet in New York. I loved it. New Orleans. We did in Florida, and now we're going to do it in Vermont. And a lot of people are traveling from Canada to come to the meet and greet Sunday. So, I'm never really here. I'm never ever here. This is the first time I've been in Vermont ever. Ever. Yeah, I was just in New York last week. Now I'm in Vermont. I'm in that travel. Remember, I'm a triple Sag. Remember, triple Sag is we travel. If you don't know, now you know. Big up to all the Sages in the house. All the Sagittariuses, we love to travel. That's one thing we do. All right, family. So I'm out. I'm coming to the West Coast. I'm probably going to come to the West Coast next year. Okay? Alaska. That would be interesting. Oregon. You guys got so many requests. I'll be there. Thank you. I'm going to enjoy I don't really celebrate my birthday anymore. After a certain age, you just everything just blends in. Remember, my grandmother's 103. She's turning 103 next week. After a certain age, you don't really, I never was a big celebrator. Only when I was younger. But I just let my seasons just fold. You know what I mean? All right, family. Let me be out. I got to meet my twin flame. He's probably somewhere stuck in the cold tundra trying to find me. Let me go rescue him. All right, family. I'm out in the middle of Vermont. All right, I hope this was helpful. Put a like on the video, and I will go. Oh, I love Detroit. Big up to Detroit. Detroit is in the house. It was one of my favorite places. All right, family. I'll see you later. Peace.